You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is it's a great time to be growing up in the age of tech that millennial entrepreneurs really get to do, because we get to find everything at our fingertips, that previous generations didn't before, and even generations that are not that much older than us.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Season 3 of Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm, of course, Phil Better, and this season is presented to you by Unicorn Incubator. Unicorn is the largest rural incubator accelerator of its kind in the world, located in southwestern France. Its mission is to give entrepreneurs and their families their lives back while helping them build game-changing technology startups. Startups in the company are provided with a complete ecosystem for success, with direct access to proven funding sources, top-notch legal and accounting representation, access to the world's most generous business incentives, and most importantly, a dedicated sales and marketing accelerator that will put a startup's product or service on the fast track to success. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the season finale of Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I am, of course, your host with the most, Phil Better, and in this episode, I am so happy. I have Sydney Wong, the Canadian startup queen, finishing strong with a strong Canadian, entrepreneur startup crazier like this. It's an amazing podcast episode, and as you can see, I really like having huge finales as guests. We had Dwayne, the LinkedIn specialist, who helped me land my first client or some of my first clients. Then you got Dom, who was one of my final clients, final guests, who has the world's largest rural incubator. That's huge. And now I'm closing off with Sydney Wong, who is the Canadian startup queen. We get to talking about how she went from an author to the founder and CEO of VenturX startup, which is a great little incubator that helps companies. We talk about some of her successful journeys of her professional accomplishments, getting tongue-tied here, and how she shaped it around one thing: the balance in your life. And we get to how some tips for women working in the man's world, how to crush it. And we always like that underdog feel here at the Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. So without further ado, let's listen into the conversation. Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Today's guest is my amazing friend here, Sydney. Sydney, I want to thank you for being on the show, and please give my audience just a quick little introduction about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Phil, for having me. So I started entrepreneurship a few years ago when a friend of mine said that if I was very serious about learning more about startup and tech and everything, then I needed to move down to the Valley. So actually, I bought a one-way ticket and I moved in with him. And then I got to meet a lot of different investors and a lot of different startups and lots of entrepreneurs of all different kinds. And it was so interesting. So I built out my company, VenturX, which is a platform that helps connect startups and investors through their metrics and their KPIs and everything. And now we also just opened up an angel fund, and I wrote a book that is specific for entrepreneurs and talking about their productivity and balance and lifestyle while they go through their day-to-day.
Jeez. I don't know where to start. That's so much information in one go. That's an amazing accomplishment that you've done so far in your life, and you still have like another 40 to 50 years left to go at minimum right now. If you're, I'm saying it, you're probably at the same age I am. You're in the millennial age group, so you
That's right.
probably, yeah. So we still got at least another 50 years before we decide. You know what? Maybe we'll retire now. And it's great to see because I'm starting on my entrepreneurial journey now, and so it's great to see I can look at like a fellow colleague, succeeding in this amazing thing that have gone before me. So congrats on all that and on the new book. I'm looking forward to reading it. Do you have the name for it?
Yeah, it's called How to Have a Good Day, and it's available now on Kobo. So I will send you the link in the description so you can add it to all of the things that come up with this podcast.
Awesome, I love it. Yes, yes, please, because I'm gonna definitely buy it and read it because I want to see what it's like to have a happy life and a happy day. That's what everybody wants in their life. So it's good that someone's figured it out and I can learn from that. Um, so when you decided to take the leap, and I've noticed this in a lot of the entrepreneurs that I've interviewed over the time, they just jump without the safety net and they're like, we'll figure it out. So have you always been someone who's like, I'm going to jump and we'll figure it out on the way we go?
That is a great question. So, when people ask me to talk about myself and my family, my background, I always tell them about the story of the Wizard of Oz because I feel like my family is like the Wizard of Oz. So, there are three of us. So, my brother, who became an investment banker, he got the brain. And then my brother, who is in med school and will be a doctor, got the heart. And then I got the lion's courage. So, in a very big way, I do feel like I have a lot more of that courage and confidence since I was little because I was gifted from it through Oz, and that really did help me through a lot of uncertainty when it came to entrepreneurship. Because it's true, you never really know where it's going to end up. We didn't know we were going to have an angel fund that was so soon. I always thought that I was only going to open up angel investment fund after I've sold my company. And I didn't know I was going to say no to selling my company so many times and for a variety of reasons. But you take each opportunity at a time, right? And that kind of builds your courage to go from one step to another, even through uncertainty.
I love it. Oh my God, I love it because those are things I'm interested in doing when I get to a level where I can, invest as an angel in different companies, and knowing that you have a fund where I can be like, you know what, I'm not ready to invest all this, but I can go here and they can help take care of it. That's amazing. Helping so many people at the same time with your expertise. I love it. Um, Now, your main business, what did you build it as? Like, what is your business?
Yeah, so the business have changed over the years as we have grown because, like we said, it was really about how the end mission was creating impact in the entrepreneurship world. And so it first started off as like a double-sided platform kind of a business where we had the investor side and the startup side, and the investors can kind of then see all the different startups that were in their geography and within their criteria for investment, because that is a really important thing when you're asking for money, is to know who is looking for you at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And then now it's become more of a SaaS tool, so a software as a service, where we are helping entrepreneurs get the most amount of preparation, the most amount of help before they get in front of the investors. So we have a combination of the platform that is kind of training you and guiding you along, as well as consultation services and startup advisory services as well, in case any kind of startup needs these kinds of gaps filled.
I love it. I love it. It's an amazing service you're providing. Similar to one of my guests that we had last season, Dom Einhorn, who is the founder of a startup incubator and accelerator in France called Unicron. So seeing someone else doing something very similar to what he does is amazing, and it's a great service to have right off the bat because it's a training tool for both ends. As an investor, you get to learn, but also as a startup, you get that access. So it's great to see you're helping two people at once while helping yourself. It's a three-way great partnership.
Yeah, absolutely.
um did you always want to help entrepreneurs grow, or how did the idea start? Like how did the initial idea start?
Yeah, so the initial idea was just coming from being around a lot of entrepreneurs and seeing how, what kind of ideas they have, what kind of initiatives they have, and really wanting to help that target market. So there are some people that want to solve their own problem, right? And then they start a company based around that. There's some people that want to solve someone else's problem, and then they start a company just based around that. Kind of like, why isn't there a better way to do this? I always found that it was so odd that the investment industry was the kind of industry that looks for innovation on a day-to-day basis, and yet the industry in itself as a whole has not been innovated for many generations, and it was super outdated. And therefore it seems like we're not really getting the best because we're not democratizing these opportunities for all these different kinds of entrepreneurs.
Wow, Jesus. It's like a very political statement, but also very true, because you're helping yeah, democratize. I'm seeing a lot of entrepreneurs democratizing their sectors. We had
Yeah.
Sean Finder, a great Canadian who helped democratize email marketing for people. There's also Artist Republic that's disturbing the music industry. So I love seeing how you're democratizing and help disrupt the old school mentality that was so ingrained for love. That's what I love seeing in the millennial generation as well. We're just a lot of disruptors.
Absolutely. It is like, it's not just like throwing a wrench in the system. It's really creating that ripple effect, that impact that you're hoping to see make, future changes for everyone.
Yeah, it's opening the door so that there's no closed door anymore. It's helping the next generation, lending that hand while also, fighting our way forward so that the next generation doesn't have it so hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, what's next? Where are you going? What do you feel is next for your company?
Yeah, so I think that when the right opportunities come with all these different partnerships and different co-investment deals, I'm part of a great it's like a Slack channel, but it's a network where we are all, young entrepreneurs that are from very diverse backgrounds kind of coming up. So it's kind of like actually really interesting when you're watching like actors or comedians or entertainers talk about what it was like back in the day. So I feel like that is where we are right now. We're at the embryonic kind of stages where we're doing our first few investments and, growing and growing and growing. And we get to all grow together from different parts of the world. So I think that this kind of a network is going to grow only bigger. And what's so exciting about it is that we are all from very different backgrounds with all very specific targets and everything. And not one of them is, hey, I'm going to target a startup of a guy who knows a guy. That's no longer the case. And that is giving me hope that more great entrepreneurs will get the spotlight that have never received it before. And also more great companies will get to come out and make the economy great and make the economy stimulated and provide these future benefits for more people all around the world. So really happy to be contributing my investment knowledge and experience and entrepreneurship knowledge and experience to these kinds of networks.
Awesome. I love it. It's I feel I was had this conversation with one of my other guests. Unfortunately, the names for dropped, but it's as if we're in the new Renaissance era. We're
Yeah.
coming out of the dark ages, going into this new Renaissance with the internet being our Library of Alexandria, where
hmm
we, it's access to all the knowledge and every expertise in the world. If we want, you can learn about quantum physics. It's no longer like have to pay so much money to Harvard, and you're bringing this networking tool that's been for ages to a new place, and you're getting to see other people grow, and it's collaborative. It's teamwork in essence. That's what we're doing on a grand scale. If we look at life as a school, we're doing teamwork now.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are the kinds of things that actually we were never taught in school, right? And that makes it all the harder and all the more kind of unorthodox in our brains, which it really shouldn't be, because we don't learn about teamwork. We learn about competition. We learn about being the best. We learn about how we're being graded. And when it comes to anything to do with entrepreneurship, it's completely out the window. We are genetically engineered in a way to not do well in entrepreneurship because of the way we were structured in our youth everywhere.
Mm-hmm. It's totally true. We were always pitted against each other. Always, you have to be the best, 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 and that mindset isn't true. Like, it's okay if you're not the best, because in a sports team, if you will, it takes the whole hockey team to score a goal, and or win a game. It's not just one player. So I love that mentality of working together and sharing your ideas, because that's the only way we're going to be everybody's going to build the wealth that's been held back for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the, it was definitely one of the more controversial examples, but also one of the funny examples was about the Hyperloop. So I think, so Elon Musk talked about the Hyperloop before he actually built it. He talked about it for years before he built it. And then people on the media made fun of him, and comedians made fun of him, being like, okay, so one of the richest people in the world is giving us an idea and telling us to build it. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And so it was also to prove a point that even if you have millions of ideas to share, you have so much skill and resources to share, right? Like, people aren't going to do it just because you gave them a great idea and you gave them great strategy, you gave them great feedback, right? It's really about how you're executing it. And so then years later, he is now building it. And I just thought it was so ironic that was a learning point for all the people that were making fun of this. Like, why are you giving us an idea that you're not doing?
No, I fully agree with you, but at the same time, it shows us, like, look, here's this guy who has this great idea. He's asking us for help to
Yeah.
do it, so we need to help him. And he's not saying, look, you tell me how we can do this, I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
And probably someone came along and was like, look, we can do it like this.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can. He's like, I have the money. The infrastructure for building tunnels is done. It's like all these infrastructures are all created. All these businesses are created specifically for our creative people to do their ideas.
Yeah.
So now it's like the rise of the creative, because we have all these. The rise of the businessmen have created all these efficiencies for us, so we know how to streamline things, and tech grows so much that it becomes cheaper and cheaper. So I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is it's a great time to be growing up in the age of tech that millennial entrepreneurs really get to do, because we get to find everything at our fingertips, that previous generations didn't before, and even generations that are not that much older than us didn't get to do before. There was a great entrepreneur, Manjeet Minhas, who is one of the Dragon's Den judges here in Canada, and she was talking about how she got, first, how she got started with the different partnerships and customers by actually calling every single brewery in the country and mailing to them, like a snail mail. And I was just thinking, like, which entrepreneur do I know that would actually take the time to do that? And it just boggles my mind, because, which entrepreneur do I know now? And even younger people, of course, who would even send a follow-up email or 2 or 3 or 4. Think about if you actually had to snail mail, like back in the day, and then you're doing this hundreds of times, and you had to go to the post office and find stamps. It's a whole process.
Yeah, I remember, because I used to work for logistics for a small company that would sell merchandise, and it would literally be me standing at a computer for all day, and I just see a roll of print going off, all the stamps that I would have to mail. Because at that time, luckily, we didn't have to go out to the post office and buy stamps. It was like you print as you go, because they figured, well, like electronically, it makes sense, it's faster business wise, right? And they know, okay, we need a big truck here or whatever. So yeah, I remember. And then, like logistically driving it across the border sometimes and dealing with the hassle there. So imagining, having to send snail mail. Jeez.
Like, which
And also,
friends are sending snail mail?
None. But if I got a letter from an entrepreneur wanting me to invest, I'd be like, okay, this is interesting. It would take, because I don't get it, so it would be a moment to stop. So it's a different technique.
Yeah, it would stand out. Exactly. I actually still personally send greeting cards, because I think that they're great.
They are great. You mentioned something that was I caught, and I was interested in following up. You said you watched the Canadian Dragon's Den?
Yes. Yeah.
You're from Canada then?
I am from Canada. Yeah. So Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank actually was a huge part of the Canadian Dragon's Den, and then he created Shark Tank.
Just so you know, I'm from Montreal.
Oh, okay. I live in Montreal right now.
Oh, really? Well, wow, small world. We'll talk later about the best sushi shops. So yes, Kevin O'Leary is a great influence on me, and I love him on Dragon's Den. So loves again talking with
when
another
he
great
created
Canadian.
Shark Tank, he was bringing in certain judges over, like Robert Herjavec. Kevin O'Leary actually has a place here in Montreal because he grew up here, and I met him at a restaurant. He won't remember me though, and so the funny thing was that day, I don't know if it came from him or the waiters just kind of like had their own idea. They kept telling everyone in the restaurant that that's not him, that's his twin brother. Like someone that high profile, you think we can't Google this? This is also the kind of benefit that we get as a millennial in the tech world right now.
Yeah, we can be like, no, it is that person. Like, look, here's his brother, here's him. You know, like it's not. There's anonymity is gone now, unfortunately. But yeah, it also helps as well. But we're also respectful as Canadians. I find we're respectful when we do see a celebrity there out in perfect. We don't, rush and bomb them because we like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. You know, like if there's a big rush already, we'll be like, maybe we'll just join the queue,
Yeah.
Photo.
I mean, it was like a very intimate style restaurant, so there weren't that many people all around all together anyway. So it was a really great setting.
I love it. This whole season 3, I feel is my Canadian season. I've been talking to nothing but great Canadian entrepreneurs from across Canada. So I love it. And it gives me a lot more hope that we'll see a lot more like celebrity Canadian, across the globe, and people like, I want to be like that great Canadian.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, that's one of the things that really does draw a lot of different kinds of entrepreneurs too, is that you are known for your work. And there's nothing that gives more pride to an individual in anywhere in North America who would be like, I am known for my work. I'm known for my accomplishments. I'm known for these achievements that I have made in the strides of entrepreneurship, and these are the kinds of things that are lasting in your legacy. And these are the kinds of outlets that are there, whether or not you like them or not, and for whatever the reasons, and all these different celebrations and grants and opportunities that also open up as you get better and better and better at your craft.
Oh, it's slow and steady. You'll end up winning the race. Like you're currently winning the race. So what's next for you, Sydney? What is next for Sydney?
So I'm still here in Montreal. We are still in quarantine and lockdown. That's awesome. And
yep.
We have to go home before the sun sets because we're like Cinderella. We're gonna turn into pumpkins. Yeah. So that's how we're dealing with it. But I would love to. I still have some meetings I have to do back in Silicon Valley, so I do need to go back and forth there. Would love to meet some of these partners that I've met in the online network in person one day soon. So that is great. So of course, just keeping safe, keeping healthy, and hopefully helping more people through either our services or through my book, How to Have a Good Day, and helping people who are struggling with that kind of balance or productivity issues to kind of use it as a guide. So it's kind of like a Tim Ferriss style guide where you can go back and forth and be able to draw different things from it. And I always loved reading things in that style too. So I wanted to write in that style. And I hopefully I will be able to provide more impact and more influence in a positive way through these kinds of outlets, and not think about the quarantine.
I think that's everybody this year is like any way to get my mind off it. Like our first couple months in, we're like, this is a boozy vacation. We'll enjoy this. And then afterwards we're like, no more, please, God. And now we're like, okay, how do we distract each other enough so that we don't think about the quarantine? Yeah, millennials have gone through a lot.
Sorry?
A lot. We as millennials, we've gone through a lot. We had Y2K, we had 9/11, we had a quarantine. Jeez.
We have lived. We
have
lived to tell our grandchildren how far we've gone.
And the fall of Blockbuster.
That's true. They made a Netflix documentary on it, and the rise of Netflix and the rise of Bitcoin.
Yeah, we have so much. Wow, we're at the forefront of like our grandparents turning the millennium, turning into the next century, the 19th century. You know, with the start of the car, flight, and all that. Jesus. Anyways, um, if you could give yourself, your, let's say, 18-year-old self, just fresh-eyed, advice, what would it be?
So it would be to learn to maintain business relationships better. I was always great and loved networking, but I was bad with remembering names or faces. I think that it's not a thing where people say that you're good with faces or names. And I'm like, I think I'm just bad at both. Just to pace myself in that way would have been great. That would be a great skill to learn. Learning to pace myself slower and not take on so much. Because looking back on your, let's say, university career, all of certain kinds of extracurriculars or extra courses that you thought would make a big difference in your life, and they never do, drop those right off the bat because they make no difference. And there were a lot of them, right? Because a lot of opportunities, a lot of distractions are disguised as opportunities. And they really do distract you from learning the skills and maintaining certain foundations that you actually really need in life. But they really just come through as distractions. So being better to decipher those things. So those are the kinds of things that I wish I did more of. So learning to maintain relationships, by remembering faces and names. Oh, that happens so many times. And then learning to
I fully understand.
Distractions. Sorry?
I get the faces and name thing. I'm like, I know that face. Phil, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah. Like somebody I volunteered with for a year, but I mean, he was wearing a mask, but that's still not because he's a very unique silhouette. I just walked past him and told him I didn't have any change, which was both true and unnecessary because he then lowered his mask. He's like, but we know each other. And I was
not homeless.
So bad.
It's all right. You're forgiven.
Yeah, there are ways to train yourself, and I should have done that younger when I was at the top of my game. You just got to keep on training yourself.
Yes, no, it's true. It's a constant. You're always learning. You always have to get better. So yeah, I fully agree with that. We're coming up here. I think we got a bit more time. What is something you wish, what is a lesson a mentor taught you? Really enjoy.
That is great. So there were a lot of different kinds of mentorship that I think people should have. Ones that are very personal to you is very important. Ones that the mentor really knows you. And of course, ones that are very specific to each of their industries is very important. As in don't just ask your friend for help with everything. This person is not an expert at everything, right? So a great piece of advice that when I was getting started in investment and entrepreneurship that people were giving me, and I thought it was fantastic, was really just about knowing your market and knowing why you are doing what you're doing, right? But if you actually want what your business is to be investable or not, and you can keep this as is, and that's fantastic, and you should keep doing that. But if you want your business to be investable, and not everybody should, because that's not a thing, that's a goal. Mm-hmm. But you have to change your business to build it to be investable. And that just broke my heart when I learned that. Because it wasn't necessarily about those who have the best businesses are those that are getting investment, right? It was really about those that are building it within this kind of cookie cutter way are the ones getting investment. And it makes the people who are building great businesses, who really know their target market, who are really caring about their customers, to feel like this is not enough for any reason. And that's not true at all. So I think that learning to see the big picture in this world of entrepreneurship in grays rather than just black and white is super important. And it does help me and myself on a day-to-day basis.
I love it. It's a great piece of advice. It's seeing the world in color, or at least grays, and not in just one or the other. So I love it. Thank you for that great advice. And really, Sydney, at this point, we usually give my guests the chance to promote anything they're wanting, where we can find them on social media or on their website, So I'm going to give you this time to go ahead. I'm going to see if I'm able to hide myself. I think so. Maybe like that. No, I'm sorry. I'm having a bad computer day. So yeah, I'm just going to be quiet, mute myself, and let you and stop my camera. There we go.
Okay, so so I would love for everyone to grab a copy of my book. If you haven't already, it's available on Kobo, and it's called How to Have a Good Day. It's a very easy read, only about 50 pages or so, and it gives you great tips and tricks that you can use on an everyday basis. And I do use a pen name, so do not be alarmed that it does not say Sydney Wong. But I will send you the link and everything. And if you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn, just let me know that you heard about me from this podcast. And so then I will know that as well. So please connect with me. Please grab a copy of the book and let me know how that helps. And yeah, let me know if you have any other questions for me.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sydney, for being a guest here on the show. I can't thank you for sharing your valuable knowledge and being an awesome Canadian entrepreneur. I just love seeing it. To my audience, make sure you check the show notes. They will have the links to Sydney's LinkedIn profile where you can reach out to her and just mention you listened to her on this awesome episode, as well as the link to her book so you can have a good day, which I love. And remember, everyone, just invest in yourself. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed that conversation with Sydney. I really enjoyed it. I've been following her on LinkedIn, and learning so much and learning more about her company, VenturX. So if you want to follow her, check out their show notes down below. There's the links for all their company stuff there. I highly suggest it if you're into the world of startup. I want to thank Sydney again for being on the podcast, sharing her journey, sharing her knowledge with us here. It's the reason why I do this podcast, the reason why I do my live show is I want to share knowledge from vast number of people to you guys, my listeners. So I want to thank you so much for listening in this season. This is season 3. Season 4 is rolling out super soon. We got about a few days, maybe a week break, and then we roll into that, and I can't wait till release it. And we're starting season 5 recording really soon, and there's another show dropping. There's so much going on here at Feel Better Inc. So remember, if you're a podcaster or you're an entrepreneur, you're looking to grow your business with podcasting and you want to get that extra thing and land your ideal client like I have multiple times, send me a message and I'll be more than happy to help you out. This is Feel Better from Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast from Feel Better Inc. You know who it is, the author of The Ultimate 7 Steps to Launching Your Podcast for an Entrepreneur, Business Owner, Solopreneur, and Influencer, or just a regular person. I want to thank you so much for listening to this season, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.